Let's do this. Strap on your seatbelts and get ready for Michael Breed, the 2012 PGA Teacher of the Year.
Let's do this!
Let's do this!
Let's do this!
Let's do this! Let's do this!
Let's do this! Lucky as me, oh, I got a four-leaf rover, got an angel over my shoulder.
2012 PGA Teacher of the Year, Michael Breed brings action, energy, and enthusiasm to golf instruction. Breed is well known for hosting The Golf Fix, Monday nights on Golf Channel.
The Golf Fix with Michael Breed.
I'm so happy the cameras found this guy. I mean, he is just an exciting person, and he helps build the game. It's great.
He looks at that hour as a challenge to make those people who are watching him enjoy the game more.
Michael's special to him because he's got so much energy and enthusiasm for what he's trying to get across to you from teacher-student relationship. He's not quite as intense in real life on the range, but he's pretty close.
I think the best way Michael connects with the viewers is just from his enthusiasm for the game.
Now, come on, everybody off the sofa. Get up here. Come on. We're waiting for you.
You would never know that he had his own show, that he was, a celebrity or anything like that. He's the same guy he was then. He's a very humble guy. He takes credit for nothing. He gives credit to everyone else around him.
He's doing so much for instruction and so much to promote not only the game of golf, but instruction through PGA members.
No doubt about it that one of the great features about Michael is this enthusiasm, and it is very real.
Michael Breed was one of my first assistants. He was like a sponge. He wanted to soak up anything and everything.
Along with a stint at Deepdale Golf Club, Breed worked at storied Augusta National. He recently announced plans to start the Michael Breed Golf Academy at Manhattan Woods. But he had been the PGA head golf professional at Sunningdale Country Club in Scarsdale, New York, for 12 years.
He took off 3 or 4 strokes, but he helped me not only in the physical part of the game, but in the mental part as well.
While Breed's television work may be the most obvious way to reach golfers and grow the game, he also works tirelessly for his own PGA Met section and PGA events across the country.
He's been on our board. He's currently on our nominating committee. He's helped chair the education.
I think each person that attended that teaching summit felt like they were going to be better, and they were going to be better teachers the very next day they went out.
Michael came to us in our 2010 annual meeting spring seminar. We have over 225 PGA professionals across the Tennessee section, and he was fantastic.
To me, golf is leave the place better than when you got there. You know, when you go to in the bunker and you hit a ball in there, rake it better than it was when you got there. And to me, I feel like, you know what, I have a chance to make things better for our section and for our association.
Michael is not only a good teacher, he's good at teaching teachers.
He has been so great to work with. He's somebody that I really wanted to spend some time with and learn from as a teacher, but also as a player. He's helped my game significantly.
Michael's been the most instrumental person that I've had to push me to become a PGA professional, to help me along the way, to demonstrate to me what being a PGA professional is all about.
He always talks about staying positive, and with coaching, that's such a huge aspect of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to get across to our student athletes.
The most important thing that he taught me is why people take lessons, how to make sure that you're giving this student who's taking a lesson the best experience possible.
Breed has also shared his experience through a pair of books.
It talked about the technical things, how to position the camera, where to position the camera, the different angles and different types of equipment to use. I think it was very helpful for all of us.
A new father in the past year, Breed brings the same energy to his family and the game he loves.
He doesn't just see what's in front of him tomorrow. He looks at the game of golf and what's going to be in it for our son, William, when he's 18 years old, and how it's going to be, and make sure that he's doing the things now to try to promote the game.
It's a very prestigious award, but you can't set out with the idea of, I'm going to get the award. It's what you do that leads to the award, and what he has done and his efforts, not just on the Golf Channel, but in the Met section and right from early days when he turned pro. Everything he's done has led to this award, which is probably the pinnacle of his career, as it was for me.
There is nothing like when you've helped somebody with their game at whatever level it is. It doesn't matter whether it's a PGA Tour player or a beginner. I tell everybody I have the best job in the world.
We knew him when. Ladies and gentlemen, 2012 PGA Teacher of the Year, PGA Professional Michael Breed. Listen, I just want to give you one piece of advice. Just try and keep your energy up through this, would you please?
Wow. You know, there's two thoughts that came to my mind coming up here. The first one was, I hope I don't trip. The second one was, man, am I glad the Mayans were wrong. What a night. First, let me thank Mallory Crossland for just being Mallory Crossland, and also Lowell and Bob, the stuff that you all have done, and your whole crew. It's been incredible. I also want to thank the selection committee. This is an incredibly humbling honor, as I know that you all are aware, and it's a bit of a shame to stick me behind a podium because I can't move. I feel like I got a seatbelt on, and that kind of hurts me a little bit, so I'm muscling through that one. I also want to congratulate all the award winners. I know how much this means to everybody, and along with that, all the section award winners. It's you know, we don't get into this for awards. You get into this for reward, and that's the reward of your students, the reward of the people that you get to touch, and so you get up here, and it's amazing. I also want to thank all the people that have won these national awards. And, you know, you think about, and I know everybody's the same that has stood up here tonight, and Mike, I'm sure you're going to feel the same thing. These awards mean so much because of the names that are on that award prior to yours being on there. And it makes that mean so much more. I want to thank all the great instructors that have come before. Martin Hall, you saw. But Butch Harmon and Jim McLean, I can go through a list. Manuel De La Torre, all the way down. Just so many. Mike Malaska, I saw him before. You all have been incredible, and you've been free with your information, and you've shared it, and you've made us all better, and that's really what the game of golf is all about. And I also want to thank Jim Flick. We had a chance to have that teaching and coaching summit and listen to Martin Hall and Mike Malaska talk about the influence of Jim and what he meant to those two. But the truth of the matter is that any of us that have given a golf lesson have been touched by Jim Flick one way or another, either directly or indirectly. And we would be nowhere, in my opinion, without that individual. So I appreciate all that he's done. We're going to miss him very much. I'm sure you all know this. When you get an award like this, you do a little bit of, you kind of do some inventory about how you got here. And Mike Krzyzewski said it best. You know, there are 5 fingers on a hand. And if you take 4 out, it's kind of tough to do it with just one. And that's really what this is all about. We get here because of the people that have touched us. And those people are PGA professionals. They're all kinds of incredible mentors that we've been privileged and graced to have come into our lives. And if I tried to sit here and tell you all the people that have touched me, we'd be here for a lot longer than you all would want to be. And I know that Ted would come out here like Mike Curtis and he'd tackle me, and I want to try to avoid that. So I'm not going to get into that, but there are some people that I definitely want to mention. The first one was Tom Koshin. He was the first golf professional that I ever really got to know. He taught me the game. He taught me the passion of the game. His son, his wife, his family took me in, and that story of families taking young people in is such a common theme that we've all heard tonight. Don Law, we would only be so fortunate to have that involvement in that number of junior lives. It's so impressive. But Gil Kavanaugh taught me something very interesting. When I went to go work for Gil down at the Jupiter Island Club, was the first professional that I had worked for, and he spent a great deal of time with me on the back of the range when I went down to find out whether or not I was going to be any good at this game or if I was even going to have a career. And he would come down at the end of the range at Jupiter Island, and he would watch me hit balls literally every single week for half an hour. And when I went back at the end of the season, before I went up to Vermont, I went into his office with, money, and I wanted to pay him. And so I said, Gil, how much do I owe you? And I owed him some money for a jacket, my first jacket, and I bought a couple shirts or whatever. But there was nothing there for the lessons. And I said, Gil, you took your time and you gave me lessons. I have to pay you for that. And he said, Michael, you don't owe me a dime for that. That's what I owe the game. And if you go on in this career, any chance you can to give back, you do that, you will have paid me back. And so I say to Gil, who has passed, I hope I paid you back. We have to have a deal when this happens that everybody just makes noise, okay? That's what I'm used to. That'll bring me out. Okay? So can we? All right. Thank you. Ted, you can get involved as well. Okay. But the other head professionals that I've worked for, Ken McDonald, Sean Garrity, David Spencer, and Bob Kletke, who were incredible influences of mine at Augusta National Golf Club. Darrell Kessner, who honestly, in my opinion, is the best teacher player in the association. But the amazing thing about Darrell is he's a better person than he is at any of that stuff. And as Darrell would say to me, always thank Margie. So thank you, Margie. Sunningdale Country Club and Ray Corcoran, what you've done for me and allowed me to do is beyond words. I can't tell you how grateful I am. I'm also incredibly proud to be starting an academy at Manhattan Woods. That's another dream come true. I'd like to thank all the sponsors of mine, and there are a number: Sky Caddy, EFX, Tryon Z, Golf Pride, who built a putting grip of mine, an instructional putting grip of mine, Steve Doherty, just beyond words, Ontis Apparel, Omega Watches, Peter Millar, FootJoy, and finally Titleist. And I was fortunate enough to be able to MC the Titleist experience this morning, and I can't tell you how proud I am to be a Titleist staff member, but really to be affiliated with all these companies, not just because of what they do for me and allow me to do, but also their involvement in golf and the PGA of America. I want to thank my students, and we all understand that, and I want to tell you a story that touched me deeply, and something I hope that you all take with you. I got a phone call one day from a gentleman by the name of Bob Fouty, who lives out in near Akron, Ohio, and he called me up and he said, Michael, I've got a young son, Blake, and we like the way you teach. We like watching you on TV, and we'd like to take a golf lesson. At the time, I didn't know where they were, and I said, well, that's great. Thank you so much. Where do you guys live? And they said, well, we live out here in Ohio. How do we get there? And I said, well, it's very simple. You go to like Kayak or something like that, and you get a flight, and you fly out to LaGuardia, and then get a rental car. That'll work. And they go, no, we're going to drive. And I said, well, then at that point, I'd just GPS it because I don't have a shot. And the day that they were coming to take a lesson from me, I was taking a shower, and I started to think about these, my day. As we do as teachers, as golf professionals, we think about the day that's coming before us. And so I started to think about these people that were making the trip. And what they did was Bob worked until 6 o'clock, and he took his son Blake, and I didn't know at the time, but his younger son Tyler, and they got in a car 6:30 at night, and they drove out from Akron. It was about a 7-hour ride, and they got in at I don't even know what time, say 3 o'clock in the morning, and then they met me at 8 o'clock in the morning, and Tyler, who was 11 at the time, never even slept. And I started to think about what an honor that was that they'd reached out to me. And I started to think, wonder how many golf professionals they've passed in that 7-hour ride from Ohio to Sunningdale Country Club. And I thought, well, there's maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people. And then I thought to myself, if I took that same 7-hour ride and I went in a circle, how many golf professionals could they have gotten to at that point? And I'm dyslexic and ADD, and I really couldn't carry the one on that, but I knew it was a lot. And so I thought to myself, that's incredible. And so when they got to me, the first thing that I said to them was thank you. And I think that as golf professionals, if we realize that every day we give a golf lesson, we've been chosen, you should say thank you. Because no matter whether they chose you over somebody at your club or course, or they chose you over somebody in the section, or they chose you over somebody in this country, they chose you. And you should be aware of that, and you should be grateful, and you should say thank you. And you should do it every day. Because every day you get chosen. And so I thank my students for giving me what they gave me. Because they've taught me so many things. And the list is ridiculous. But they've taught me so many things. And obviously I want to thank the PGA of America for everything that they've done, the opportunities that they've given me, the instructional opportunities that they've created to help me get to this point. And where would I be without the Met PGA, who went in unison tonight with a tie that didn't look anything like mine. And my mom said, just because everybody's walking left, right, and you're walking right, left, you're not out of step. And so I take that with you, even though I don't have my tie on. I'm united with you all. But Charlie Robson and the staff have done so much for us. You heard from Carl Alexander, who sets up all these incredible instructional opportunities and educational situations for us to all grow, to create a better brand for the PGA, a better opportunity for our students to learn. And it is that in mind that I thank the PGA, the Metropolitan PGA, Charlie Robson and his staff, the Met PGA professionals, for everything that you have done, because you all are the best. You obviously know that I have a ridiculous schedule, and that puts a lot of pressure on a number of people, and I am fortunate beyond words to have had a number of incredibly talented assistants who have gone through my programs. And my most recent staff was incredible. Most have been with me for at least 3-4 years, and some as many as 8. And you all know that you've been like family to me, and I love you all very much. And I want you all to know these people: Kyle Sedlak, Joe Condomiti, Julie Peluso, Josh Spraggins, Mario Guerra, and really my right arm, Betsy Grobe. You just can't understand all the things that she's done for me. The friendship has been beyond everything. And I am so grateful for those people. As well, Golf Channel. I mean, I could tell you story after story after story, but you all took a gamble on me, on an idea that I had, and it seemed like a really good idea to me, by the way, and I was really grateful for that. But Mike McCarley and Keith Allo, and I remember sitting down with Keith Allo when they offered me the opportunity for the job, and he said, I want to make you the Jim Cramer of Golf Channel. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm glad he didn't say Richard Simmons. That's so... But Kevin Schultz, who started with me the very first time. And even though I messed your name up that first time, my friend, I haven't missed it since. But what Kevin did and what he inspired me to do, I remember sitting in his office and we would say, okay, let's do this. And he goes, you're better. You can do better than that. And I go, well, how about, and no, give me more. Give me something. Give me something. And he continued to dig into my soul, and he made me a better teacher. And Jeremy Garrison is right along that same path. And so many countless others that have been involved with Golf Channel. I cannot thank you enough. And there are two really important people here who were instrumental in this. One, Tom Stathakis, and the other, Tony Tortorisi. And I had the chance to meet Tony when I did my first Golf Academy Live. And he, after the Academy Live and all the things that took place after, which he knows, he called me up after that week and he said, Michael, have you ever done any on-course commentary? We're thinking you might be pretty good at it. Have you ever done it? And of course, I'd never done any, but I didn't say that because I'm a golf pro, right? We've all done on-course commentary. There just wasn't a microphone and a camera there, but we've done it. And I said, oh, you bet. Yup, love it. And he gave me that opportunity, and I did that, and I've had a fantastic relationship with Golf Channel ever since, and I'm incredibly grateful. I'm also surrounded by a number of wonderful friends. Jay Hill, who's a Titleist member, but he's been he was in my wedding and a very important person to me. Major Dan Rooney, who we all know, what he does on a daily basis to affect lives of people that protect our freedom. He should get every single award that was ever made, my opinion. But I have two other friends who really are, honestly, they're brothers of mine. They don't have the same name. They don't look much like me. But they are brothers of mine. One, Tom Henderson, who's a PGA professional in the Metropolitan section, who he has gone through every up and down in my life and has been there to support me. And I'm so grateful for your friendship, Tom. You know this. And Ted Kegel, who I met when I first went to Augusta National, who, by the way, just so everybody understands, he's the guy who taught Webb Simpson how to play golf and got him involved in a junior program, and only a short time later built a U.S. Open champion. And I know we're all proud of Webb. But Ted, you have been a blood brother to me, and I will never be able to form a sentence that will tell you exactly what you mean to me. And I also had the luxury of going to what I like to call the Yale of the South, Randolph-Macon College. Only 1,000 people, only a small number of people get the privilege of going to Randolph-Macon College. I was one of those few. And I was moved by two coaches down there. One was Ted Keller, who passed away not long ago, and he was instrumental as a mentor. And Hal Nunley. And Hal Nunley taught me, he was the basketball coach, and as I was going through Randolph-Macon, I knew that I wanted to be an athlete. I knew I wanted to get into the athletic world, and I knew that coaching was going to be something that I wanted to do. So I took a class coaching basketball, not just because that was the direction that I wanted to do, but the truth of the matter is that my GPA needed a really good high grade, like an A. Because when you're ADD and dyslexic, not only is it hard for you to read, but it's hard for you to sit still to read, and that becomes a challenge. And so I took this class, and what an incredible mentor. And he told this story, which I share with you all because I think it's incredibly important. And he said that when he was coaching his team, when he first got into coaching basketball, and he had never played basketball in college, he got into coaching basketball, and he came up with these rules for all of his people that were playing under him. And he said the first year he had like 3 pages, and the next year, because the 3 pages weren't enough because somebody did something stupid, so then there was 4, and then there was 8. And by the time he was like 12 years in, he had a book. And so one year he sits down and he's trying to figure out, this is ridiculous. There's no way they can remember these rules. It's like giving a student too much information. And so what he came up with was this thing called, don't embarrass the program. And I tell all my juniors this, don't embarrass the program. Because what that means is, you're a part of so many different things. You're a part of, as I am, my program is my family, my parents, my clubs, my people that have touched me, my association, my college, my grandparents. And if you're caught doing something, the question is, would you be embarrassed to have been caught doing it? And if you are, don't do it. And it's an incredibly powerful thing. My family, my Uncle Pete, who was an unbelievable mentor, said to me, I was 17 years of age, and he said to me, Michael, I don't care what you want to be. Find what you love to do. Be the best that you can possibly be at it. And he said, if you want to be a janitor, have the cleanest hallways, have the best kept bathrooms, and you'll be successful. My parents loved that concept, weren't quite keen on that direction, but they loved that concept. And it was a big moment for me, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my brothers and my sisters. AM and FM we call Giffen Allen. And my sister Becky, they've just been a source of inspiration and incredible mentors in my life, and a support system that's beyond words. My mother and my father. My mother was the mayor of the mean streets of Greenwich, Connecticut, without a college education. Started a Fresh Air Fund. She was entrepreneurial and is a phenomenal individual. My dad was simply one of the best people that I ever had the pleasure to know. He had honesty, integrity, loved his family, worked hard, never was home later than 6 o'clock. And he taught me one of the most valuable lessons that I've ever had. And I share this with you, and that's this. Concern yourselves more with character than reputation. Character is what you are, and reputation is what others think you are. And if you take care of your character, your reputation will be fine. My wife and my son, and my future child to be. I'm the luckiest man in the world. You guys are good. I get to wake up every day with the most special person you've ever met in your life. She's the most right person. Anytime I have a question, I ask her, she's always right. And she's not just right because she's my wife, she's right because that's just the way she looks at the world. She's the most right person ever. And I woke up this morning and I looked at my wife and she said to me, this is a special day for you. This is the first thing that comes out of her mouth. This is a special day for you. Is there anything I can do for you? Are you from this planet? And are you brain damaged? Because what are you doing in bed with me? And then the son that I have that just lights my world up. And I'm just so grateful. And I love you so much, so deeply, that I never thought I knew what love was about until you all graced my life. And I want to leave you all with a story. And I'm going to move for this one. And Ted, I know you want to tackle me, but you're going to have to run. Can you hear me here? So I want to tell you a story, because I want you all to realize something. I got my first head professional job at a place called Birchwood Country Club. It was in Westport, Connecticut. I was living on the mean streets of Greenwich, Connecticut, exit 3 on 95. Birchwood's on exit 17 on 95. And I got this job. I was offered the job on my mother's birthday in 1996, January 17th. And I was so excited. I'd realized my dream. I've worked my whole career to get to this point, to be the head golf professional and I'm the head golf professional, and I am beyond words. And I continue to prepare for this, and I get in my car, and I drive up north on 95. And when I get off the exit at 17, you get off exit 17, and it kind of slings to the right and then goes down a little slope to a light. And I come down to the light, and there's a guy there, and I don't know his name, and I still don't know his name. And he's holding a sign, and it says simply, "I need money." So now I'm confronted with a beggar. And so I do what we all do. I rolled up my window and locked my door. And that was the first time I'd seen him. And then, because we didn't have to open up until March 15th, it had been a little bit of time before I had encountered him again. And sure enough, I come down and he's there again. And now, as I see him and the light's red, I start to pray for the light to turn green. And it doesn't. And I roll up my window and I lock my door. And that goes on for about a week. And then I start thinking about the guy. And I start thinking about him at about exit 16. And as I'm coming off 16 and going over to 17, I'm thinking, I wonder if this guy's going to be there. And so when I make the exit, I go slowly, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to be confronted by this guy. So I go slowly. And as I go slowly, I come around the corner, he's right there, and I'm going to go just slow enough because I'm going to time that light, and when the thing turns green, I'm going to stuff that accelerator to the floor, and I am going to go Mach 1 around that corner because I don't want to be confronted by the guy. And this goes on for a while, and then I start thinking about the guy. Literally, when I get in my car, I wonder if the guy's going to be there. And as this starts to happen, I start thinking about him as a person. And I start thinking, how did he get here? How's this guy end up begging for money on the side of I-95? And then I start thinking, now remember this, I'm living my dream. And the truth of the matter is that you're all living a dream. We got to choose the direction that we're going in. And we chose to be golf professionals. And so every day you wake up, you get to live a dream. And so I'm thinking about this guy. And I thought to myself, I wonder what his dream was. And I can tell you that we all had dreams when we were kids. What were the dreams that we wanted to be? Doctor, lawyer, golf professional, teacher, president of a section, whatever it was. We had a dream. And we got to live that dream. I live this dream every day. This is a dream for me right now. When I watched that video, that was a dream. I hardly could believe it. But I know this. On the list of what we'd like to do, like I want to be a boxer, and if I'm not going to be a boxer, I'm going to be a babysitter. Never on that dream, that list, are you going to find, I want to be a beggar. And then it dawned on me that that guy had a choice. He had two choices, or one of two choices. He could ask me for money, or he could take it. We see that every day. People are robbing people, taking people, stealing from people every day. And that guy had the courage to ask me for money. And I gave him some. I gave him $3. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. It was the best feeling that I've ever had. And people ask me, how do I have the attitude that I have? That guy showed me about my dream. And every day, I think about that guy. Don't know if he's still alive. That was a long time ago, 1996. But I think about him every day. And he was my mentor. And he showed me that every day I have a choice. And I choose to be happy because I'm living my dream. And you all are doing the same. And you make a choice every day. And you know what? Choose to have a great attitude. Choose to be grateful. Choose to treat the people in your life the way you want to be treated. Make that choice every day. And you know what? You'll be just as happy as I am. And in closing, I want to say something. I want to thank all of you for what you've given me. What you've done for me is you've given me the ability to pursue my dream. You've given me the opportunity to be a part of a game that has given me so much and given so much to so many. And you've shared your gifts, your time, your wisdom, and your passion so freely. And I am so deeply honored to be your Teacher of the Year and to accept this from the award committee. Thank you so much. God bless all of you. Have a great year. And sorry about that, Michael.